Every so often, we hear one of these tragic stories of abandoned babies. Some of them are found alive and others aren't. We're all saddened, of course, but then we continue on with our life as normal. Well, today's guest, however, did not continue on with life as usual. Joining us to share her story is Linda Znachko. She is the founder of He Knows Your Name Ministries and author of the book, He Knows Your Name, How One Abandoned Baby Inspired Me to Say Yes to God. That is quite a title, Linda. Welcome to Bridge City News. It's so great to have you on today.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be with you today. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Linda, you started a ministry called He Knows Your Name. So, would you please share with us the circumstances of how that came about?
Well, really, the circumstances of my life was as a stay-at-home mom, I was raising my kids, and some of them were starting to kind of be released into the world through either getting married or going to college or whatever. But my mom had just died in June. And in October of 2009, when I really was not looking for anything more to do, my life was full and I was really grieving. I heard a breaking news story about a baby found in a dumpster. And what really gripped me was that the news headline said baby doe found in a dumpster wearing only a diaper. And when I heard that, that's what gripped me. I thought, my mind swirled with questions, but I knew instantly that it was an assignment that had my name on it because God instantly flipped it in my mind and in my heart. And all I could hear was doe is not a name, and dumpster is not a grave, and a diaper is not burial clothing. And it took me back to my mother's funeral just the 6 months before, where we had given her nothing but honor and dignity. And I thought, my mother was a child of God and she deserved all that we gave her, all that we celebrated. And so does this baby.
Wow, Linda, that's amazing. Now, in the years since you began this ministry, you've been to some unexpected places. So, what exactly does your ministry do? So, you had that on your heart, and then what did you do? What was the next step?
Well, I called the coroner's office and I asked them, a few questions. What do we do in our city, in our county, in our state about this? And their answers just really opened up a whole new world to me of injustice. And that was that we don't have a plan, really. These babies are put in mass graves and they're never named and they're not celebrated. And so I knew that with every question I asked, more injustice was answered in that answers. And I thought, just put my name on the case. I really want to follow this case and make sure this baby is taken care of in death. And they were like, well, it could take a while, it's an investigation. And I was like, I don't care how long it takes. I have time and I'll just sit and wait for this baby. Like, I know this baby is on my heart and I am supposed to do something about this baby. And so I waited for 13 months, calling the coroner every Friday morning to just bother them and say, I'm really serious. I really want this baby. And in the waiting, which is so like God and so like kind of a pregnancy of expecting something, God really unfolded for me the vision of this ministry, gave me the name of it, and started showing me, like laying out the blueprint room by room of what it was I was going to be doing with him, because I don't have infant loss in my life. And I don't feel equipped or qualified to really speak to some of these issues and topics. But I really realized that it's God who equips and qualifies us and gives us the authority to do what he calls us to do. And so I just kept stepping into that. And that year formed the ministry of He Knows Your Name.
Oh, wow. So, what do you do for these babies? What's the process? Do you
Well, I now claim babies, yeah, that are left outside. I claim babies that are left at hospitals, which is really hard for people to comprehend. But there are babies, the law here in the States is that if a baby's born over 20 weeks, that baby must be released to a funeral home director and given a celebration of life with your funeral through a funeral director. And so those babies are also left at hospitals. People literally walk away and do not come back for their babies. And then there's babies left at the coroner's office, much like baby Nicholas was, where there was a criminal investigation and no one came back after all that time. And so I, by law, can claim those babies. And I have claimed 30 babies in 11 years and celebrated their life and officiated their funerals and resourced everything I've needed to give them what I think they deserve.
That is beautiful. And how many years has it been now since you've begun this
11.
ministry?
Well, I'm
11
almost going on
years.
12. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
going on 12 years. That is just amazing and so sad too, but just what an amazing thing you are doing for these little souls, you know? So now your ministry has taken you to some unexpected places. Can you tell us about some of those experiences?
Well, yeah, I mean, it started with taking care of babies, and it's developed into ministries of supporting hospital bereavement care and coming alongside families of infant loss that way, and providing just needs all different kinds of resources for families, and partnering and collaborating with ministries to do that. Also, collaborating with ministries like Safe Haven Baby Box to lean into them and give them some of my stories of babies that have actually been abandoned, so that we don't just talk about the solution to the problem, we actually show the problem, and then the solution makes more sense. And so that's my collaborative relationship with Safe Haven Baby Boxes. But I also have helped to provide headstones for families that want closure at the grave. Maybe they've been able to pay for a funeral through family and community pitching in, but they've not been able to get a headstone. So I've provided about 125 headstones, maybe in about 8 or 10 different states in the country, which is
Wow.
also just a really beautiful place. I mean, and I go to them and make sure that they're all dedicated and blessed.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Safe Haven Baby Box. That program is significant. That's a significant partnership of yours. So, can you explain what that program does and how you work with them?
Sure. So in December 28th, 2014, there was a baby left at a park here in Indianapolis. And the baby was found by a hiker early in the morning. And of course, we know that no baby could ever survive outside on a freezing cold night. There were tire tracks close to where the baby was found, which kind of suggests that maybe the mother had a car. And we did have the safe haven law at the time, which in Indiana allows a family to safely surrender their baby to a first responder within 30 days. And there was a fire station just 2 miles away from where that baby was found. So she was wrapped in a blue sweatshirt that said Vincennes University Aviation Department. And when I saw that on the news, I knew I would name her Amelia. And Amelia means defender. And I felt like she was going to defend by legacy the safe haven law. And at her funeral, I met Monica Kelsey, who's the founder of the Safe Haven Baby Box. And the moment I met her, and she saw what I was doing by giving this baby a celebration of life and naming her and claiming her, giving her, like letting the community all come to her funeral. There was standing room only in that chapel. And Monica shared her story with me and said, I need you to come to the Senate and the House of Representatives and give testimony to this baby's life so that these people see that this is not just a number. We're not talking about just random abandonments that we can't relate to. We need to bring the human element to this problem. And that's what I did with baby Amelia. And so her footprint is on the Safe Haven Baby Box. And that's how Monica and I collaborate with this ministry.
You are going to make me cry, I swear. So, the baby box, I believe I went online and I looked at some of them. It's a little box, isn't it? Like literally.
It really is a little bassinet, like a lucite little bassinet that you would see in a maternity ward, but it's sitting inside a window, basically, like you do open the door on the outside of a fire station or hospital, and inside is a climate controlled, weight controlled, silent alarm little box that the baby gets put in. And those boxes offer an anonymous safe surrender. And once the mom closes that door, it locks from the outside. She cannot retrieve her baby. The baby
Wow.
can only be retrieved from inside by a first responder. And we have had in the States, we have had 11 babies safely and anonymously surrendered. Each of them have received medical care in under 2 minutes. And each of them has been adopted in under 30 days. And I've met many of them, and they are healthy, thriving babies and loving families. And it's just the most touching, beautiful solution to the crisis of at-risk moms.
Because these moms are probably really terrified, right? Because they don't want to
Oh,
be seen necessarily, and I can't even imagine what they are going through as well. But what a fantastic solution, you know.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't pretend to know their circumstances. People want to kind of say, well, how could they do this or how could whatever? And I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't need to understand them. I just know they're in crisis. And I'm thankful I'm not in their shoes. But these are women that might have immigration issues. It's, with sex trafficking and the drug issues, and just life is hard. And when women are under resourced, they make really desperate choices out of fear. And we want to offer them a really safe surrender that helps take care of them and helps take care of their baby, but also to say we are pro baby, but we are pro mama too. And we want these moms to have options.
Now, Linda, in 2020, which was just recently, something very unexpected happened in you and your husband's life. Can you share about that, please?
Yeah, so Steve and I have four biological children. They're all adults now. Three are married, and we have three grandchildren. And in this year of turning 60 years old, the last thing I ever thought I would do is adopt a baby. But this last year, I got a call from an adoption attorney friend of mine who was working with a mother who was homeless and addicted and really in crisis at a hospital downtown. And she just delivered a baby, emergency. And she said, I want this baby adopted. Well, whether she realized it or not doesn't matter. The baby was flown to our children's hospital and was immediately given critical care and was put in the NICU. And this adoption attorney tried to find an adoptive family for days and days and days that week and couldn't find anyone to take care of a critically ill baby. And so he called me and asked me to meet with him downtown at the hospital. And I went down and I was like, yes, of course I'll take care of this baby when she passes. I mean, that's what I do. I help take care of babies when they have the need in death. And he said, no, you don't understand. I'm asking you to take care of this baby in life and be her guardian. We need to get a judge to sign this today by 4 o'clock because there's medical decisions that need to be made. And I
Wow.
mean, my head was spinning
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I just could not even grasp, and I said, yes, I'll help take care of her. After talking to the whole medical team, it became very clear that they were all recommending that she be taken off life support. And so I had, after hours of talking to them, I said, that's what I will do. I just am not ready to do it today. So I headed home and I was pulling out of the parking garage. I was sobbing and my husband called and was like, hey, what's for dinner tonight? And I was like, I can't even breathe. I can't even talk. There's a baby, in the NICU here, and I'm coming back tomorrow to take her off life support. And the long pause and silence on the phone, he just said, you will not do that alone. I'm coming with you. And so we actually went back that night. Then we went back the next morning and we spent the day with Abigail, Elise, and we did take her off life support. And we were told she would live 1 to 2 minutes, and she ended up living 2 hours in my arms and breathed her last. And we just held her while she went to Jesus. And we held her and sang over her and called her by name, dressed her in a beautiful white garment and baptized her. And it was just the most precious, sacred day of our lives. And we were so surprised when about a month later, that same friend of mine called and said, because you were guardian to her in life, you can become her adoptive family. And so we did that, and a judge granted us life adoption with her. And so her birth certificate and death certificate have our name on it. So we had our children give her her middle name, and we named her Abigail Elise, and her headstone has our name on it. And it's in Babyland here with all like 20 other babies that I've claimed in death. And it's just, she has just changed our lives. And I just never, ever thought we would do such a thing, or that the opportunity would need to be taken care of like in such remarkable
That's
circumstances.
unbelievable. We are running out of time quickly, Linda, but real quick, what advice do you have for any viewers who might be considering adoption?
Oh, I would say go for it. Call an adoption attorney, call your friends who have adopted, make sure you're educated, and go to community things and really read books. I mean, but just get going on. Don't just sit in your house on your couch and talk about it. Get active in pursuing it, because I think you get a lot of your answers to your questions through other people and through attorneys and through going to groups and talking about it. And really adopting through the foster care system is an excellent way. It's so much more cost effective. And there are so many children in the foster care system that need families. So if someone's interested, I say, please go do it. Just go, please take action and adopt that child and become a forever family to a child who needs you.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a beautiful story. Thanks so much for sharing your story with us today, Linda. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you and have you guys just be a part of raising awareness and helping me educate about these important laws and these important topics that need to be talked about. Thank you.
Absolutely. Of course. Linda Znachko is the author of the book, He Knows Your Name, available at heknowsyourname.org. I'm Jeanette Roche on behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News. Thanks for watching.